Okay, let's get started. We're gonna play some Line, which is a game that I just kind of pulled out of a hat. Oh, before I start, welcome to the Igloo Mojo Jojo 624. I love saying your username. A fun fact about Mojo Jojo, you may know this viewer, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Uh, the cadence that Mojo Jojo uses is actually based on an obscure piece of DC Comics merchandise called the Super Dictionary. Thank you for the lyric, Raz. I appreciate your time. And the Super Dictionary is essentially, it's where the Lex Luthor stole 40 cakes, and that's bad. I can't believe he stole 40 cakes. That's as many as four tens. Um, that cadence in the Super Dictionary is what inspired Mojo Jojo's dialogue. His little dialogue quirk, and if you go read the Super Dictionary, you will never be able to unhear. It's so funny. Anyway, let's play the video game. Let me open chat on my cellular so that you all do not, start some kind of horrible chat riot and light something on fire. Which I trust you all. But being unable to see chat makes me a little nervous. Let's go play Line. Hopefully that's the wrong window. Hopefully the capture specific window line. Hello? Oh, there we go. All right, now it's working. These full screen games I get nervous about capturing. Let me know if the system audio is coming across on the mic. Let's get started. Oh, do we just... Oh, it's just mouse. Okay, so we need to connect things of like kinds, I guess? Or do we need to... Oh, huh. There were more than one line available there. Hmst. Okay. So, like this? This? Okay, so we connect like shapes and like colors. Okay. Huh. Notice everyone. This is very satisfying sound design. Sorry, I'm just slowing down so we can hear a few of those pitches. So... Huh. Oh, and then these grid lines have changed. So... Okay. I think I like this. This is very satisfying. Can we... Okay, so the lines on screen are the only places we can trace. This is very specific, but you know what this makes me think of? Is, The Witness. A little bit. No, we want to start... So if we start from here and we go da 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 da, yes. Which The Witness I've been playing for myself. Huh. Oh, okay. The Witness I've been playing for myself, I will say. Okay, so the shape in the middle does not matter. Noted. I've been playing The Witness for myself, and I've been enjoying it very thoroughly. I'd love to go through it again after I have finished playing it on stream. But for now, okay, so this needs to go through here. But now that blocks me? Yes. And I can't go that way because there's that line. And I can't turn in the middle. So we need to go, that's in the way, so we need to go here, not into there, into here, and then we need to bounce like that. This is fascinating. Okay. So this, and then I like the little you know, type thing that's going on here. Okay, so here into here, into there, into there, into here, here. Then this one is much more straightforward. This is very satisfying. Also, I will have to take a very, very small, be right back in about 15 minutes. I have to finish my laundry, because I thought I was going to have it done before stream. That won't work. That will not work, because that line there needs to be... Well, maybe it will, actually, because if we just... No, that remains an issue. No, we can pivot off of here. Okay, that is correct. This game is very, very satisfying. It scratches the same itch in my brain as a very simple puzzle game that you just kind of do to just kind of loosely activate your brain and not do anything in particular. Can't go that way. Okay, so this needs to go here into here. No, that. Like so. But that immediately blocks that. So if we go like this, there is no avenue available. But if I go like this, and this, but then I can't cross that line, and so that's blocked. I can't go there. Also, I apologize, but any puzzle game is going to have some volume of, it's right there! How are you not getting it? And you are just going to have to accept that I come to the solution of the puzzle at a different speed than you. Allow yourself to relax about it, you know? Let your mind flow onward to potentially discovering whether there are other avenues to the solution of the problem, rather than the one that has made itself obvious to you before it has made itself obvious to me. You know? Oh. Arrow? Set B unlocked. Okay. Okay. Huh. I guess let's start set B then. You know what this very faintly reminds me, just in the fact that you are connecting dots to produce patterns, is this very faintly reminds me of the little rune game that you would play in Ingress. That would block. Okay. So if I do this, Yeah, that will work. Ooh, oh, you. There we go. Okay. So this might be... this also kind of makes me think of math class in the best way. You know, kind of like a path theory. Okay. No, we don't want that to loop back on itself. So instead... and then can we... Huh. But then that's blocked, so we can't go that way. So this is closer to the intended solution. Can we fill those two loops in an elegant enough fashion to meet the need there? So that's blockered, and that's blockered, so that won't work. So obviously we have to make a path here. Then we decide, do we do this? But then that does not include this. So what if we completely avoid interacting with those? With these, I mean. Hang on, like this. Different idea. There we go. This is very relaxing to me, I think. It has something to do with the, like, very faint, like, ooh, ambience, along with the little notes that are playing. So this needs to cycle. It cannot cycle through itself in that fashion. So that blocks itself. And that blocks itself. So what if we open with this, diagonally down to this, back here, up here, and we can't cycle back into a can't cycle back there. So where can we generate this triangle? And it has to end there, and it can't go there. So we need to take a different route. Like that. Okay. But we can't... ooh, we can go here instead. Yeah. This game is very, very elegantly designed. It is, making clear certain choices very quickly. No, what if we do this instead? Then we are trapped in that cycle. So here into there. We have no lines outward. Okay. So the last line that comes into here needs to be able to come out. Okay. Squares. Third color. It seems like it's very, like, carefully, like, each shape is a different color for color blindness reasons. This game, and, like, this game is very elegantly, letting you come to terms with certain concepts before springing them on you more fully. That's not right. It's kind of like almost signposting itself for little puzzles. So then, but that completely blocks that triangle. So maybe we need to lead. there's no way to not block that triangle. We need to have this avenue open. So... and then... that. Sorry, I'm keeping one eye on the time. That's why I keep looking over. Okay. But that won't work. So... and then that's not blocked because it has this. Like that. I wonder if these shapes that it is drawing mean anything. Like, are these meaningful characters in some kind of... something that I don't understand, maybe. Or maybe they're just patterns for pattern's sake. No, we need to come out of that, but we can't come out of that one, so maybe triangle is wrong. What if we do this, and then that has no path out because triangle is in the way, so that's not right. So then does that block the square? No. That doesn't block square, so we can do that into that. Okay. This is very soothing. This is scratching a very particular, like I said, almost active meditation itch in my brain. There is very little music, and so that lets one's thoughts flow freely. No. So then, no, that can't be both of those. So then this needs to come around through both of these. Like that. Maybe it's the lack of, maybe it's the minimalist design not giving you too much to grasp onto. And then into this. Oh, that's blocked already. Okay. We can't go there, so this isn't right. That can't be right either, because then this has no, those have no avenues. Not quite. But then the blue blocks there. So maybe none of these need to go through them both times. Maybe. That's just a thought. And then this allows that, but that blocks that in. So maybe this needs to not be touched by red. So then these both have a way out. But then they don't have a way out because of this. So this needs to go here instead. So then they both need... but that won't work because there's only one line out of this. So... let's think with our brains. That would work. It would not block blue coming out there. So then red, but that blocks incoming blue. So red, but then that blocks blue coming out. So if blue comes out like this, then red is blocked. So this, that would let green do this directly, and then blue do this directly. There we go. Okay. Okay, I am getting into like a good little flow state with this. But we are going to be right back super quick. I need to rotate my laundry. I appreciate your patience in this matter. Be right back. Like the text says. Nobody explode. Oh, big yawn, says library. Big yawn. Let's get back to this little game. This is very, like, I'm trying to talk, but this is very much like a it's like it's like, you know how you see people like pull like a bow or like use their finger to activate a resonant bowl. You know, and you kind of go that feels like this for my brain. It's very satisfying. Hello, library. Yeah. Aren't we sweet little man? Mm-hmm. Nobody love him. Nobody care for him. Can you believe it? Nobody pay him a single ounce of attention. Huh. Will that do? Oh, can I just click instead of dragging? No, I cannot. I have to drag. Okay. Well, that's kind of... Oh, and then blue cannot connect to itself. Oh, no, blue can connect to itself. But then can red? No, red cannot, so that's not right. We've done too many steps with green. Library, no. No, there's no beans on the table in this house. I'm sorry. Not allowed. A rumpf. Well, now that we have that, we can change this to be this. Oop, no. No, we cannot. We can do this, though. And then this would solve that. There we go. library, can't we? So, I don't know, maybe I should just talk about what's been happening in my life lately. I'm gonna be out of town next week, seeing Raz, which is always fantastic, as you are all probably well aware at this point. Uh, the RV is currently in the shop, and I think that's part of why I was very much just kind of craving a Zen experience. I wanted a Zen-like experience as this game describes itself. I just wanted to think without thinking for a bit, if that makes any kind of coherent sense. That's not quite right. So if we go there and then we alter green, green cannot be altered in that fashion because red there. So what if, but then that blocks red, so that's not it. So clearly our position with blue here is wrong. But that makes green incorrect because it needs to hit all of these, but then this one is empty, so then if we activate blue in that fashion, then that line is incorrect because that blocks red. This game is one of those games that I would comfortably describe as sentence games, where it makes, in the sense that it makes me produce some sentences. Oh, there's like a very slight drone. I hope that decays quickly. I did not care for the note that drone was droning upon. Oh, that won't work. Toilet library. Yeah. You see this little man sticking out his paw like, pet me! Pet me! But like I said, the RV is in the shop, and I have been, to put it politely, pondering some interpersonal conundrums, I will say. And so I wanted to think without thinking for a bit. And is that not, kind of the core aim of a motion meditation like this one? Even if the motion is so simple of just the movement of my hand as I put these pieces into place, so to speak. And I think movement meditation is probably the wrong description here. If I am at all honest. A movement meditation, I think, foundationally kind of focuses on an element of repeated action suchly that you repeat the action, and you know exactly how to do it, so you do not use your brain to do so. And instead, you are allowing the moment to be the moment to be the moment. So maybe motion meditation is not the correct framework to look at this through. Maybe this is more like, because these puzzles are very small and very quick to complete, maybe this is more like the consideration of a cone, for example. A cone, K-O-A-N, I might have the O and A backward there, is, to my understanding, a small tale or poem that, while it does tell a story, there is additionally some focus on, just as you are reading it, understanding the tale on its many layers. So, for example, I know of this from some, I can't remember the name of the website, but it was like IT or like programming themed cones. Cones? I'm probably saying it wrong. Maybe they're koans? I think library sniff snorfing one moment. Hey, bud. Do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you need me to open the door? Here. Let me open door. Because nobody has been walking by and nobody's been making noise. And so... You know, what's the word I want here? That's not right either. This. You know, it's contemplative, it's appreciative. Now we have another point. That's interesting. Oh, daily levels, see? Maybe I am onto something here. You can access daily levels from the main menu. Are those generated on the fly algorithmically? Do those have no end? Well, let's see what the daily level is for today. This very much new daily level sets every day. Monday simple, Tuesday mild, Wednesday regular, Thursday complex, Friday demanding, and Saturday and Sunday are randomized difficulties. So this is complex. Oh, these are full daily sets. Okay. But then that blocks red. But does that matter? Apparently no. Sorry, I've stepped off the beaten path of the intended difficulty curve here. Can I go back? Ah, here we are. We will come back to the dailies when we have exhausted the number of levels that I am playing. So maybe this is a cone, something to like occupy the thinking part of your mind so that the unthinking part of your mind can be more aware of itself, almost. Which I want to stress, as I am speaking on, you know, Zen at large, I know, practically speaking, nothing about the practice of, you know, the mind states that one searches for in Zen, for example. I am speaking as someone who is guessing, practically speaking. I am making educated guesses on the understanding that one of the things that is most desirable, or has been described as most desirable to me in the sort of Zen mindset, is that state of no mind. There is a non-English single word for that. That sense of the best way I can describe it is Ultra Instinct from Dragon Ball draws from Zen for this. That sense of your body is allowed to flow instinctively to meet a certain challenge without your mind constantly running and tripping over itself and slowing you down. Your body reacts almost instinctively. And so that's the framework that I'm coming at, guessing at why this game describes it as Zen from, which is a very, very small window through which to peer into something as, frankly, complex as you know, the Zen mindset. And so, all that to say, take what I'm saying with large grains of salt. That won't work. Let's take the easy option here and then do it. Okay. To make a long story short, I'm trying to puzzle out, you know, to activate more of my own mind. That's not correct. That's blocker. So that needs to go like that instead. And then from there, this can go there. But then we are missing, so we need a cycle here. Yes. Anyway, now that I've described how wildly unqualified I am to talk on Zen thought sets. Perhaps I have more thoughts. These feel like they are intended to cultivate the use of your conscious mind's attention, if that makes sense. To let your thinking mind focus on what you are doing so that the rest of your consciousness, the rest of your thoughts can flow freely to allow yourself, lacking in a better term here, the luxury of considering your thoughts unfettered by the difficulties of your choices, maybe. Considering your unconscious thoughts unfettered by the difficulties of your conscious ones, perhaps. And maybe I am just going full English class and reading more into this game than it has. Maybe the Zen descriptor was provided by a overzealous reviewer, and it does not actually suit the intent here. It was just called Zen because it is minimalist and relaxing. You know, that's a very common mistake to make, speaking as someone who has probably definitely made that mistake many a time. We need 2 more there. So that won't do. And that won't do because green blocked there. But what if green not block there? What if green go there? And then cycle in wrong direction. Cycle like so. But then can we... No, we need to... like that. But then we need 2 more points in here. Can we induce a cycle here somehow? Sort of. If we could place a line there, so if we could cycle there, and then there, but we'll need another cycle here, like that. There we go. Ironically, as I was discussing the loss of conscious thoughts, I have lost a lot of what was on the forefront of my mind in discussing zendencies and the tendency of people like me to describe something just because it is quiet and minimalist and not as aggressive with its use of your time as Zen. That's so close. We need 1 more cycle in green, which I think we can do. Yes, we can. And I wonder why that happens. You know, maybe perhaps it just arises from a lack of understanding of Zen thought, perhaps. Not quite. Yeah, like I said, perhaps it arises from this lack of understanding of Zen thought. And so we simply describe something as Zen because the things that are actually Zen have these details as an ancillary trait. Perhaps. That won't work either. there is these two lines act as blockers, so we can't go here or here. We need to get across this line, so we need to remove that line while still retaining the rest of these. And I think if we move this line here instead, so I want to do blue first here because the obvious answers with red here are not producing the intended solutions. We're still short one meat here. And we can't go there, and we can't go there. See how we're short one? Is there a way to do that with red here? Yes. No. That line's in the way. So what if we do this and then introduce? No, because then we would need to go there with blue. So what if we open like this? Yes. I don't know, and like that's sort of Zen mindset. That's sort of almost aggressive intent upon being aware of one's own mind and allowing it to function while retaining awareness of oneself, one's thoughts is a very appealing concept to me. I would love to be that aware of my own thinking. Self-awareness is not always a skill that I possess a lot of. Door. Someone is coming upstairs. Never mind. No, yes, someone's coming upstairs. Let me mute the mic. The joys of living at home. I did mute the mic in case he wanted to say things to me, but he was initially being very courteous and being quiet. I appreciate that. Where was I on this puzzle? We need 2 there, so cycle. That is not cycling in the correct direction, and that excludes that. So if we instead, but we can't go there, and that's where we were stuck. So if we erase blue and continue green here, and then not there, what if we open in this direction? Not quite. No. So that might not be right. That might be inducing too many blockers. So what if... I like the idea of opening in this direction. But that cycle is not correct. So what if we... Coming down into this is wrong. And so the only other option to meet that is to go here first. And then can we come down into these? We can't come down into these because we have to come back up out. There's already a line there. So instead of taking that line upward, we have to take it this direction. But then then we are back where we were before with this line in the way of blue. If we can come into this last... Ah, here we are. Oh... Where was I? I was describing the current state of things around here. The state of Nesterland, as it were. Can't go that way, so we open this way. No. So that means this is incorrect. Not quite. We need to... Nope. So what if we can't come down into these, but we need to come... How do we come that way? So that leaves out a square, so that won't work. Like I said, the RV is in the shop. I successfully... that seems correct. Oh, but then we have no way to activate the second dot on this. That cycle seems correct, though. What if we open... How do we get that second... We can't go through itself. How do we get this second one, though? So what if we can't go that way? And obviously we can't interact with any of these lines because those are blocked. Oh. Oh! We might be onto something here. Here, here, here. Here, here, here. So why aren't we clear? Oh. Because I didn't finish the red one. Yeah, the RV is up in the shop. It is getting some transmission work done. As some of you may know... No, that's not right. As some of you may know, the RV had some transmission work done for a few months there. We need 2 more lines here. So maybe that's right, but then blue is incorrect. Can't end there. Can continue here, but then we can't end there. So maybe... There we go. The RV's in the shop. Oh, library's puking. Hang on. Buddy. Are you okay? Oh, big puke. Why did we have to shake our little head, huh? Alright, I gotta be back and fix this. I love my cats so You know what? This happens just often enough. Let me, real quick, command add library. Okay, yeah. I have added a little command to the bot to let the chat know when I am up cleaning library puke. As the command states, library, bless his little heart, must have been food insecure at some. Oh, that's the wrong layout. Must have been food insecure at some point in his little life before he came to live with me. For uh, sometimes he just panics, and when he panics, it is because the food is empty and he can't get the little auto feeder to make it produce more food. And so he goes, "Oh, the food is empty." And then when the food is no longer empty, he's like, "Oh, I don't know when I'm gonna get new food next." Scarf, 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 and his stomach gets full. And then he sits and he thinks for a little while. And as he thinks, the cat food in his stomach, being dry cat food, absorbs water and expands. And then, because it has expanded, Library's stomach is too full, and so his insides are like, "We have eaten too much, get rid of it." But, and that's what happens. That's why he is the way he is. And I love him so, but I wish he would not scarf. It's okay. The food is always there. We just sometimes cannot remember how to work the little food dish. Which, honestly, the auto feeder I have just occasionally, like, it forms one of those, like, voids where, like, it falls from the center and then, like, the center, like, holds itself up through, like, granular tension. And so then they have to jiggle jostle. They or I have to jiggle jostle the little food bowl to disturb that granular tension and get the food to fall better. Magnus is very good at disturbing the granular tension, both because sometimes he'll smell the food and go, "Oh, I don't like this," and sit there and bury it, and that will jiggle it enough to disrupt that granular tension. Or he will just reach his little paw up into the like little opening and poke at it a little bit. He'll just be like, and pull his little paw out, and then there is the food. Library, not so much. Library is also why I cannot cover the food. If I could cover the food, then Magnus doing exactly what he is doing right now. I don't know if you can see him. Is that in the shot? That's very slightly out of shot. So Magnus will sit there and paw at the food to try and bury it. What I wish I could do is give Magnus like a little piece of fabric or something that he could use to bury the food, and then Library could unbury it. But Library, bless his little heart, does not have that many brain cells. So, sweet man, my sweet little men, they have opposing enrichment needs very often, and I do my best to navigate them both. Anyway, let's get back to this game. Let's relax our brain a little bit. Not quite. Like this, maybe? Nope, other way. But we need a second one, so no. What if like that? But then this line can't go anywhere. So let's leave that there and change blue, maybe? Or do this. But then how do we meet this second one? Perhaps... Nope, we're coming at it at the wrong angle, and that's incorrect too. So perhaps... Can't cross our own lines. Aha! Yes. There we go. But hoping the RV takes less long than the last time I got it fixed. I think I did this in the wrong order. I did. Ooh, maybe we get green out of the way here. And we do. And then we have... Not quite. Can we introduce... Oh, shoot. I was using some of that, you know. There we are. Ooh, I got a little... But last time I got the RV fixed, it took easily the better part of a month, I would say. Maybe perhaps the larger part of the month would be a better phrasing there. Can I just... Oh, I clicked the wrong thing again. But we are missing a central point there. We need one more cycle. So, what if we cannot induce cycle that way. We cannot go this way. We cannot go that way. What if we open that direction, though? If we get rid of this, open this direction, then how do we meet that second cycle corner? This guy. What if we leave that open? Leave this open for the triangle. And then... No, not quite. We're still missing one line. What if... There we go. Sorry, this is... I keep zoning in on the puzzles instead of telling the story. This game is very easy to attach your brain into and just not think. Ooh. Magnus has worked out how to move the door. I mean, don't get me wrong, he already knows how to move door. That's not right. What do we smell? Magnus has detected something off the right of the screen here. What's up, bud? Are we just investigating the door? Okay. But last time I got the RV fixed, we came at that cycle the wrong direction. That's also blocked. The last time I got the RV fixed, I was waiting on parts for a long time. Yes, we are trying to connect all the shapes, RNL. This is called Lyne with a Y, and the central conceit of the game is, in fact, connect all the shapes to all of each other by lines. And these little octagon lads can be interacted with either twice or 3 times based on how many shapes they have in the middle. For the RV, I don't think I have gotten around. This line's wrong. But as for the RV, I don't think I've gotten around to the full tail quite yet. There, but then that's a blocker. Okay, let's come out of this from a different direction then. Then we have no direction there, so there, into this, that, this, but then that needs a second one, and we can't get here. So what if we... Calculating. What if we do this? Then we have no down line. But then can we also... Well, we can't get out of here. So that cycle's come at from the wrong angle, and we can't get out of here. Okay. So clearly I think both these paths are wrong. Let's think here. Let's think with our brains before we go thinking with our mouse. By the way, this game is uh, pretty clearly to my eye a Unity mobile game that just so happens to have been able to also be compiled for desktop. Much like the other week, our Lyne After Dark, you know, there's that very much, it's letterboxed very clearly, and this is mouse only type thing. And, sir, sir, are you aware you don't need to bury the food? It's not as much of a problem here in with the carpet, but I would appreciate if you didn't anyway. Yeah, you do that instead. So the RV, can't go that way, so that won't work. Coming into that cycle the wrong direction. We are missing one click there. So what if we do this? And then can we induce cycle there? Yes. A mobile game, yeah. So Unity as a feature, I think you can compile two different targets, but this was clearly designed as a mobile game. Can you see my cursor? Is my cursor on for this one? Let me check. Properties, capture cursor. You can capture the cursor. So here and here, you can see how that kind of, this shape here could fit a phone very easily. You could easily cut off this and this on the bottom too if you needed a less tall version. So all this like negative space out here. And the fact that it is played with the mouse very much makes it easier to play with a finger on a touch screen as a pointer. This has a very and also just like the game design feels very much like it would not be out of place on a cell phone. I mean that in the best way possible. I'm enjoying this game immensely, much as it is. Oop, we can't do that. Oh, this shape is already met. So what if we cycle? That's not right. Cycle the other way. Cycle like that. And then we can still get out with triangle, 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 triangle. Okay. Yeah, this is not a very like I'm trying to describe. So these are this is also throwing me back to kind of a math class brain. You know, you study a lot of path theory, or maybe, well, I wound up studying a lot of pathing theory in programming class, and so that's where my brain goes for this. Is I'm like, oh yeah, these are paths. I know what these look like. Okay, green is incorrect, so remove green. And then can we cycle other direction? Oh, maybe we don't even need to. Can we include one more tick there then? Can we... Oh, yeah, we can. I found the app Good Brain Game. I'm glad this is also an app. Yeah, I will link the itch.io release for desktop a little closer to the end of the stream. So if this feels like it will scratch your brain in a very positive and satisfying manner, I heartily encourage you to join me in playing it. There is a daily mode that seems very satisfying to play. You have a command for library puking. Yeah, he did it just now, and I was like, you know what? I need to make sure stream knows why I have just randomly disappeared. Because unfortunately for library, and I guess also unfortunately for me, well, we can't go that way. That's wrong. Unfortunately for librarian, also a little unfortunately for me, library is very prone to puking because his brain. He is a little man with a little brain. He's just a little kitty, you know. He's just a little guy, and his brain don't hold very many brain cells, and so he has not worked out that repeatedly overeating is repeatedly scarfing down the food is what's causing his little puke problem. Okay, that's not right. And we have two pings here. That won't do. I can't go up that way, excuse me. But what am I doing? The other triangle is not where I think it is. Huh. So what if we open this way? That's a cycle, but then we're stuck. So could we end in that cycle? Yes. But then that blocks it. No, it doesn't, because this is an out. Huh. Oh no, that works. Yeah, Library's just, bless his heart, he's a little prone to puking, and Magnus thinks I have not cleaned the floor well enough. I'm gonna double check if he's right super quick. Sir, are you correct, or are you just being particular? I used soap and everything. Maybe he just doesn't like the smell of the soap. That's entirely feasible. That's happened before. I should be out of shot. I'm out of shot. Oh, no, you just don't like the smell of the soap, my man. Understandable. That soap is not for everybody. Unless I missed a spot. No, he just doesn't like the smell of that soap. Okay. Love my cats so much. They are particular little men, as all cats are. Well, particular anyway. Ooh, and then but then does that block triangle too thoroughly? 3 of those blocks triangle too thoroughly. I keep clicking the wrong thing. And then that's not right. So then those two have too many. Or those just don't have enough. Rather. Can we induce those with red, though? What if... Oh, we deleted green. Also, I want to be clear. I am stating color names here. Green is triangle, red is square. For those of you who are not as perceptive about colors. Which this game also has a very good, well, so long as the colors fit in the background correctly. That's not right. We're going into this the wrong way. Wait, if we had one more open here, what if we get rid of green? Green opens up one more. Then we go here like that. But then we don't have a line here. So that's not quite right either. Oh, that jump took much earlier. What if I do that? Can I do one of these? But then we're still short 2. So do we need to induce some kind of cycle occurring? Cycle wrong direction, cycle wrong direction. Cycle is not answer. Magnus, my sweet man. That's not a string. That's a jacket. So then can we... Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. If we get very thoroughly stuck on this one, we may go play the Dailies mode. So then I cannot hit this in that fashion. But maybe I can come... No, I cannot come around to it because I've blocked that cycle. That's not right. So if we start here, leave this one of these lines open, but then how do we don't. What if we cycle? We need to get that other square too. Okay, how do we do this? Maybe we lead here, into here, into here, into there, 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 there. Because then does that leave... Because if we can get rid of this line here, then... But that will leave... That will remove... No, there's two lines coming out of this here and here, so we can get rid of this. Then we can... Wait. I think I might be onto something. Like... So? But then this has no way out. And we need to hit that second one again. So can we remove this line? Okay, that line is very early in the pattern. So what if we hit this on the way up? No, that. And then... There we go. Ooh, we need to hit that 4 times now. How many sets or levels have you opened up? Let's look. We are on C25, says the overlay there. So we're on the 3rd set, 25 levels in. Each set has 25 levels, fittingly. Very well timed, Arno. Ooh, we're 1 cycle short. We can induce cycle early. Oh, good. Good brain. C25 is where we are. Sets D, E, and F immediately unlock. And then we need to finish... We have... How many? We have 2, 4, and we need 10. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, 4. Okay, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 dits available based on difficulty, I assume. Nice, says Ardell. I agree. Nice. I am eyeing the dailies a little bit. I think we have Dailies A. So this one we did earlier, I think. I'm not doing it right. This isn't correct. Because we need red to have its day first. We did this earlier. Didn't we do this earlier? I'm pretty sure we did this earlier. But then that blocks red. This was super easy earlier, and no, it is not. So then, nope. But we can refactor the effect green has and do it. Refactor may not be the correct word there. Sorry, I'm using a good deal of my brain there. Din. And then that solves that. And then this can go there. And then this. Ah, Magnus! You need to stop doing that, sir. That is my side, and you have done that 3 times in a row today. Do not do that. I'm a very delicate little man. You will poke holes in me. You know that? Well, I don't know what to tell you, my man. I've been telling you for several years, 2 years even, to not pick at the sides of the chair for this exact reason. Grumpy little man. Angry about something. Who knows what. Oh, that blocks green. So that cannot be correct. That's interesting. It made 2 shapes there. Does it usually do that? Achoo! Achoo! Okay? Magnus must be sniffing a lot of dust in here because he has been especially sneezy. Blue is not right because it is in the way of green. Should I be referring to these by the shapes rather than the colors? Achoo! Achoo! Bless you! Are you good? I know it's dusty in here. Oh, poor Magnus. Oh, so full of sneeze. Where do we put all the sneeze? You okay? Yeah, okay. I hope those sneezes were coming across on stream. No. That? But then green has no... A triangle has no path. So triangle needs this. But then that puts blue at the diamond at a dead end. So... And we can't take that path out because it is immediately blocked. Because it leads to the home triangle. If we can cut one of... Maybe... But then green, so red must also be wrong. Square. So... What if, like that, and then like this, and then like that? There we go. So this is these dailies that I am working on now are the 3rd level of difficult, if I am recalling correctly. Ooh, that's not right. Diamond, go here, but then that leaves green way out. So what if we remove red? But that doesn't work because we need to get this. Okay, so what if we do one of these? That completely blocks the square in. That's right, it goes in the square hole. So that can't be. So maybe we need to open with this one. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. There we go. I think you could describe these puzzles in in a set fashion to make them make sense to someone who is only listening. But that would be, I would have to name each node and how many lines go out from the node. Which that would be a great way to do like a descriptive, if you wanted to add something to this game, add graph description to this to make it so you could maybe try to play the simplistic, like if you are sighted, you could try to play this, you could try to learn to play this game by only the graph descriptions. I think that would be a very interesting way to like activate a portion of your brain that you aren't necessarily using all the time. It certainly sounds fascinating to me. We're missing one line here. Is there a way to introduce that line? If we get rid of... No. If we do this... Cycle points wrong direction. Cycle points wrong direction. Green is incorrect. So then, do we have a path here? No, we do not. If we could get one more line here, so I'm doing something wrong. Then could we do this instead? Yes, we could. I do wonder, are these puzzles that have one set known solution, or are there multiple ways to achieve the intended criteria? Blue is blocking green. So then that can't be right because this red is completely blocked off. We need to remove these two lines here and here. So, what if we do? Can we then produce? No, because then blue is in the way. We cannot produce the intended effect. So then we can do this, but now green cannot reach here. So, but that's not right because that can't reach there either. So, oh, I just undid something that I did not want to undo. Okay. So what if we remove red? I feel like I'm brute forcing these now. I'm not thinking intelligently, I'm just trying combinations. So what if we do this and this? But that can't go there because this has no outlet elsewise. That can't go there. Let's think. I'm forgetting that there are diagonal nodes here. And perhaps those are the key to our solution. That's not right. The path I just tried for clarification was not correct. And neither was the one I just tried again. I guess if this one stumps me, we can go back to the normal ones. Okay. Let's try a different approach. This cannot be going anywhere but here, obviously. This has two options. If we could introduce cycle in that fashion, then blue can go either way. So let's put green through. And then red can go here directly, which means blue could, we are missing this one here, down here. So green needs to step back several. We need to hit this one twice. Unless we can get red to do that. But then where we have blocked blue's methods of egress there. So we need to hit blue, but then green has nowhere to go because of red. So if we do that, then red can come directly down where green has nowhere to go. So what if something like that, but that's in the way there. So what if we do this? And then does red have a path to completion here? Yes. But then does blue? Blue does not. I don't think, because this is in play. So, and this has to go here because it, so here to here to here to here to here to here to here, but then these two being blocked blocks the only way in or out for green. So what if we induce cycle, but then this being there blocks green, so we can't reach the endpoint with red there, like this, so then blue can go here, but that blocks that. So red needs to not interact with that, because this needs to go here, and this needs to go here. So then green can go green, green. Or green can go green, green, green. And then blue can go blue, blue. Blue can go blue, 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 but it can't because there's... Huh. This one's a real brain teaser, gang. I guess that is the whole point of the video game. But that can't be there because, well, let's see if it is capable of being there. Do we have a line for red? We do not have a line for red. So we need to back blue up several steps. And then red. Oop, that's green. What if we red? Then where's blue? Blue is up there. So then we could blue here. Then we could back up green. Red cannot come in from this angle because we need to reach this with blue. And in order to do so, we would need to do this. But then green has no point of egress to here because it's blocked here and here. So green for sure has to do this immediately, which means that blue here has to do this, likely. Green, hang on. So then green can go, blue can go, but then red has no, so we can't hit that middle one. No, it's blocking itself. So blue has to be here, right? We know that for sure because it has no other lines out. Red has 3 lines out here, so what if, no, this would block both of green's methods out, so it cannot be there. So it has to be here. And then what if we extend red like that? Ooh, or what if we extend red like this to hit that position once? That won't work because then this needs to be hit a second time, and there's only one line out of it. So calculating, ruminating, and then green can go green, 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 greens. No. Then this needs a second. So we need to remove one of these? But green doesn't have any other paths. Blue does, though. So then this could go like this. But then that blocks blue. Blue has to be there. There we go. Got it. That one really wrinkled my brinkle there for a minute. Nope. Okay. Ah, wait. Like that. And then you see, through the power of remembering diagonal lines exist, I can, in fact, solve this puzzle. We're missing several things there, which means red is wildly incorrect. Are we being good, kitties? No, that blocks, so... And that gets me stuck in a corner. You gonna get a Magnus? Magnus is activated about something. Who knows what? But he is activated. Yeah. Oh, no, that won't work. And then... we're missing this one. How do we get that one? Green? Maybe? How do we get to this one? Yes, green. Okay. What's next? So... I love these ones that, like, look like they have a startlingly obvious solution, and then I try the startlingly obvious solution, and it does not work. That is a very fun thing to me, to have it be an obvious, what looks like a blatantly obvious solution on first look. Will this work? No, it won't. Okay, that can't go up that way. But it can do that. Okay. Reminder to drink water. Appreciate it. I agree. It is time to drink water. Do I have a hydrate command? Hydrate. I don't have a hydrate command? How do I not have a hydrate command? Wild. Anyway, everyone drink. Everyone get a good old-fashioned sip-a-rama of your water. I have misplaced some of these lines. There we go. But definitely hydrate, especially if you, like me, have been gaping open-mouthed at the difficulty of some of these puzzles. Also, if your pets are nearby, I would heartily suggest petting them. It's very good when you do, personally. I quite like petting my pets. They are good little kitty cats, and they deserve some good old-fashioned pets sometimes. Huh, that's not right. Triangles are not right here. But then we're missing this one. Huh. So then that would block that. Harumph. Let's look at this. Let's look at the red half of the puzzle here, because we've been ignoring it. So that can solve itself, which means these are capable of resolving on their own. Nope, can't go back into your own shape. And those have to go a specific... Not quite, no. There we go. See, dude, says my phone. These are very, like I said, these are very good puzzles to alternate between using your brain in a very active fashion and just instinctively trying little paths. So if we can get... That's not right. See, we're short this one. That can't go that way, so it has to go this way. So can we get this to be met a second time? That's not the end triangle, by the way, so I am immediately doing this incorrectly. that can't be because that blocks that out. There we go. How many puzzles in the little dailies are there? There are 25 in the dailies? Are these generated on the fly, or were these all made at the beginning of the game? Wild. I don't want to imagine how much work it is to generate these paths, like these solvable paths on the fly. That seems like a lot of work. So can we get the squares to do that? Maybe. Then we need to get this one. Cycle other way, cycle in correct direction. No. That means red is wrong somewhere. There we go. These are really fun. And I'm sorry if I'm not commentating very much, but I am genuinely fascinated by the patterns that are being produced here. Oh, I got that one in the first try. I'm proud of myself. I don't think I ever finished telling my little RV story. Yeah, so the RV had initial, like very early even, when I was first down in the Bay Area, which, no, it wasn't the first time I was in the Bay Area. It was the third time I was in the Bay Area. On my way there. Actually, I have this written down. I occasionally journal while I am driving, right? And if I look at my journey notes, I specifically state the first time it happened. It was after Seattle, after Portland, after San Francisco, after Reno, after Utah. So it was after my first part of time on the road. And I was stuck because of my car. And then I didn't write it down. Oh, no. It was. I was on my way to San Francisco after Albuquerque, right? And so this is my third time. I was on my way, third time for the Bay Area, because I wanted to spend time with Raz, right? And so on my way there, I stopped at a gas station, as I do several times while I'm driving each day. And I go to shift into drive. It does not shift into drive. I make a little concerned face, have some blue language for Lovelace, the RV, and then go, wait a minute, I can try manual. So I shift down into manual, and that works. And this was in June of 2022. So then, next month, after I spent a month in San Francisco, well, San Francisco area, I should say, I I get underway, right, and it does the only shift to manual thing again, and I go, huh, that's weird. Okay, I'll just drive in manual the 4 days home and get it fixed when I'm going home, right? I get to Truckee, California, which is almost Reno, like 30 minutes from Reno. And I stopped to use the bathroom at like a rest stop very close to the outside of that town. And it only it only shifts into manual. After it had shifted into drive, by the way, I had stopped earlier in the day for gas, and it had shifted into drive fine. It had shifted into drive fine. No, that was yesterday. Yeah, it shifted into drive fine. So then after I had stopped for gas, it shifted into drive fine. And then I stopped to use the bathroom, and it did shift into manual only again. I was like, huh, that's weird. And then I went a little further and pulled off for something else. Oh, I pulled off to try and get it to shift back into drive, and then it would not even shift into manual. I put it in manual, and I would only have first gear. So then, the rest of the story, I think. I through a lot of wrangling, made my way to Reno and stayed there for a month. And a month later, after an incredible volume of waiting, they fixed the transmission in 2 places, right? Which was enough to get me here, my home base. And now I'm getting but there was a third part still spitting out error codes. That third part that's still spitting out error codes is why it's up at the shop right now. Make a long story short. Also, occasionally this will hit the notes just right, and it makes me think of like an older anime production card that goes Aniplex. Like occasionally it'll go dee dee dee, and I'm like, oh, I know that one. Which I don't remember what anime I was watching that had the Aniplex title card, production title thingy. That's not right. Can't go that way. What if I go this away? And then there? But we have a bunch unmet here. So can we get green to do that? Not that direction. So what if we do... What if we loop blue into that? But then we're still missing one. I got to see 07 taking a break. Entirely fair. There is only so much of this you can do in a row before your brain says, I have had my fill, take a break. Now, if I can get this to work in some way, shape, or form, then I think we're on to something, because I think what I can do is, as long as I finish like this, I need a cycle here, but there's no cycle here. What if cycle? No. What if... So we have to go here, based on the existing setup. Aniplex, I know which sound you mean. I'm glad you know which sound I mean, because Raz is probably the other person in the group, in the chat right now, who would know what I'm on about. Raz could probably tell you which show I was watching to hear that, honestly. Raz watches a lot more anime than me. Right. That's not right. That's incorrect. We are missing This guy. I almost wonder, but we can't take green up here because it has no methods of egress, so we need to take red in this fashion. Oh, shoot. Which one did I just break? So red needs to do that because it's the only one that can make that shape. Because green is the only other one that can reach it. So red is wrong. So we go there, into there, into there, into there, into there, block, there, then we're out of them. What if we removed one of these? What if we removed this line? Went here, into here, here, into here, into here. Wait, no. Okay. How vital is the way green works here? No. But we still have this guy. Hydrate verb, entirely fair. You are highly encouraged to hydrate. Water is important for the functioning of your insides and other various organs. And so I heartily suggest it. What if? Can we? No, we cannot. So this can't go this way, but it could go this way. So what if we do one of these instead? Not quite. Could we get it to go? That's block. That's block. So this has got to go there, right? Unless we leave. Well, we can't go this way because then. Okay, we are very close here. I think now we can introduce the correct cyclical input here. No, not like that. Perhaps like this. And then can we get blue to hit that as well? We can. Yeah. How are we looking on time, by the way? I don't want to overrun our bounds here. We got about 6 minutes. All right. Let's jump back a topic, shall we? I was talking up top about how I know very little about Zen beyond the sense of this sense that it wants you to think without thinking, be aware of your thoughts as a process that not only occurs to you but is also influenced by the world around you. I think something about having a concerted is maybe not the word I'm looking for. Having a specific awareness of my own thoughts and what they require of me in that fashion sounds very satisfying. This is missing. So we go here, Not green, we need to move red. Then red cannot go there, so if we open like that... The awareness of where one's... What am I missing? Oh. The awareness of one's thoughts and how they evolve from not only your emotions, but also as a response to certain factors in your environment, and the acceptance of life's insistence on impermanence. It just sounds like a very valuable set of skills for me, allowing something to be experienced and then passed along, and having that sort of contextual awareness of one's thought process, so to speak. Sounds very handy to me, as someone who does not always have that particular awareness. Oh, what was that one? That is Goriki Mod is raiding with a party of an unknowable number. Party of 1 claims the chat. Thank you for the raid, Goriki Mod. Appreciate it. I need to change my little alert list there. They deleted the ability to host people. And so now you can ignore that fool of a took. Took? Not sure. That's one of those words I have read in text many a time and not said aloud. Goriki says, ignore Goriki Mod. A fool. Spake my authority. Very good. Goriki playing both the straight man and the funny man. Appreciate it. I was on the verge of saying something clever, I think, before I got distracted by that, but that's far from the only time that has happened. Let's start this one over. I think I'm missing a few things along the way. There we go. This might work a little better, because then we still have that path there. So then can we... Yes, we can. Again, I'm wondering, like, I wish I could sit down and... No, that won't do. Wish I could sit down and figure out whether these... Achoo! Oh! You okay? That sounded like a big sneeze. You alright? I know, it's very dusty in here. I need to, like, vacuum or something. I had something to say about Zen, and Zen's been on my mind because of this game being described as Zen. And that is kind of attached to my brain. I'm like, is this intended to be an expression of a Zen ideal that I am unaware of? Or was this just described as Zen because it is relaxed and quiet and able to be interacted with in an unfocused state of mind? It is relaxed and in a relaxing environment, almost. It is both relaxed in that it is low stakes, and relaxing that it is very calm about the noises it is making, I guess. That's not right. That won't do. That's the wrong cycle too. How do we get that? tell you what, how far into the dailies are we? My brain's starting to get a little squishy. Uh, alright, folks. We got 19 levels into the dailies out of the 25. If I had not done the story mode beforehand, if I had not done 3 sets of story mode, I think I could have gotten through dailies, but I think I'm running out of gas on Puzzle Brain. I could keep going. I shouldn't. I'm very tempted to keep going. This is very... meditative is the correct word. This is very, like... it's very meditative to allow all of my thinking brain attach to this, and just let my brain relax through the repetitive actions of this goes here and here and here and here and here, and that goes here and here and here and here and here and here and here, kind of thing. So apparently this is a phone app. I didn't know that at the top. Let me open the page for this game to link it to you, because this is very fun. This is by Thomas Bowker. It was nominated for a few design awards because, like the tagline of the game states, it is deceptively simple and infinitely complex. Another review stated that it is a gentle puzzle game that is thoroughly enjoyable, especially by people who do not enjoy puzzles ordinarily. I liked this. I liked this a lot. I think it was very, very fun. You may find it here. Is the easiest place I could tell you to find it. It has an Android app. If you buy it through that page, you can gain access to a Linux version of the game, a Mac version of the game, a Windows version of the game, and an Android version of the game. I don't know if our friends on iPhone have access to this, but I really like this. I really liked this game a lot. I think it was very, like, intellectually stimulating. I don't know that I'll stream it again because it is not applying such an aggressive cognitive load that I cannot speak, but it is very easy to get into a flow state where my mouth is no longer being activated by the speech that is in my brain. And I was doing my best not to leave too much dead air for you all. Maybe, you know what would be a good way to stream this is through the Discord. You got it from the Google Play Store. Raz, you have an iPhone. Could you check super quick if this exists on iPhones? If you're here. Question of the day. Oh, library. Library's been missing just 1 foot on my lap a lot lately, and so he digs his claws in so he doesn't fall off, understandably. Actually, you know what? If Raz isn't available, I think you can just search the Apple Store, like, through the browser. Apple App Store. Search. App Store by Apple. Can I search it from here? Yeah, you have a lot to say about this. Search. Okay, yeah, I found a search bar for the Apple App Store. There is, in fact, an Apple version of this. So if you're so inclined, you can get it from there. I would personally, if you have anything but an iPhone, suggest getting it from the itch page instead. It has a much better developer split. It has DRM-free versions of the game accessible on many forms of media. But if you just have to play it on iPhone, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not your dad. I'm not your parent. I'm not the arbiter of your device choices. But I really liked it. If you liked the look of it, you will like how it plays. Because visually, the visual experience of playing this is very close to the physical experience of playing it. Just you're the one guiding the little line as it moves. No worries, Raider. You are catching me at the tail end of things today. We were just talking about how much I really enjoyed this game, Lyne. Oh, no worries. You know, life has us busy, and this is a very busy season. There's, 5 billion holidays occurring, some of them overlapping. So I get it. Life is very busy in December and into January. I do not mind at all. But I appreciate the effort in attempting to show up. Just you caught me right at the tail end, unfortunately for you. Anyway, I like this game a lot. I'd suggest it if you need something to like scratch your brain without asking too much of you. It's very slow, it's very calm, it's very quiet, it's very gentle. Uh, okay. This is not set in stone, but I have a tentative schedule planned. Keep one eye on the Discord. By the way, I have a Discord. I think I've mentioned a few times, but I have not posted a link for it. Discord. That's the Discord. It's where people come chat chits about things I have to say. Keep an eye on Discord. I will absolutely announce the new schedule there when it is set in stone. Keep an eye on Twitter. I will post it there sometime too. Keep an eye on Tumblr. There is a Glacier Nestor official Tumblr. It mostly just auto posts things right now, but it exists. I've been meaning to use it more because I actually like Tumblr. Can I be honest with you for a second? I like Tumblr as a platform. It still lets you edit your page by editing the themes. It's a little obscured now, which isn't the end of the world. Or it's a little obscured now, which I can understand why they did it, but it still lets you edit your page. There is little to no. You can very easily avoid any algorithmic control over what you see. And it's all about essentially a curated experience, which is something that as I move to increasingly and increasingly algorithmically controlled sites for various reasons that I really, every time I go back to Tumblr, I appreciate that I see what I want to see and not a jot more. It's very nice. And so I'm going to be trying to be better about posting to the official Glacier Nestor Tumblr. Yeah, anyway, long story short, there's going to be a schedule officially here in a few days. But I am expecting to move the thing that occurred tonight, the thing that is not paper cuts, the thing where I am playing a game for about 2 to 3 hours. That's going to be on Tuesday evenings. Just because not only is it the easiest day for me other than Monday, but also it has been the best day generally out of the schedule testing. Monday's very crowded. Thursday is especially crowded. I can't do Wednesday because I have that Monster of the Week game, and so that leaves Tuesday as the very clear leader. Tuesday at 8 local time for me. Currently that is Central. I will keep you posted on when my time zones are. But currently 8 Central. 8 Central is the time slot generally. I like starting at 8 Central. It's very easy for me. Friday is when Paper Cuts is. That's when Paper Cuts is. It just always is. It's been on Friday forever. Oh, we do have the reading train in about 20 hours. I did on purpose pick my usual time slot for reading train. I need to open that image on my computer and edit it because I want to take I've seen a lot of people taking 2-hour blocks, and I want to take the next hour too, unless someone is direly in need of that particular hour. I'm going to take it. Gariki is speaking of Codex, the group of reading streamers we are a part of. We're doing a Christmas, I think Christmas Circulation Desk was the name. We're reading a Christmas Carol. There's a lot of details there. Go check out the Codex Discord for it, if you're interested. But back to schedule. Outside of Tuesday and Friday, Saturdays will start being when the VODs post to YouTube again. I've been working on building up a big VOD pile for that. And so we'll be going back to stream VOD Saturdays. And those will be posting to YouTube soon. I'm going to say soon. We'll see. I don't know TikTok well enough to know when I should post things, honestly. But there are TikToks over on Glacier Nestor TikTok. They'll exist soon eventually. I'm working on them. Is that all my scheduled things? Oh, Saturday and or Sunday evenings, these are not set in stone, but I might be streaming to Discord just whatever I'm working on if I feel like having the camera or the microphone on. That's the real bonus to showing up to my Discord, is me posting custom content there, like, oh yeah, you see an exclusive angle of the bread I've baked today, or oh yeah, you see a specific picture of Library Magnus that nobody else will see for another week, or I have the camera on for co-working purposes while I'm working on other stuff. Like, I might be writing Monster of the Week stuff, I might be writing Dungeons and Dragons prep, I might be editing videos, there's a lot of stuff that I've been trying to be better about with Discord, and so I think that's everything. Very long story short, keep an eye on my socials. There will be schedule eventually, soon, very soon even, but likely Tuesdays and Fridays at 8 o'clock. Ooh, next week I will be taking off. Probably totally, but keep one eye out for Tuesday. Just because I'm gonna be out of town. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Hopefully everyone during the circulation train, but definitely the Codex gang. Let's call it an evening so I have enough spoons to get through that, shall we?